At the University of Nairobi, we make your dreams come true. Our students are practically equipped for the job market by prioritizing cutting-edge technology, training, and applied research. With 8 campuses located in Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa, and over 6 specialized faculties, the University of Nairobi is the best university to consider for your future. We have over 500 courses to offer you endless opportunities to explore your passion. With internationally recognized undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications on offer, you will be able to establish a successful career path at the University of Nairobi. Managed by a team of experienced academic staff and alumni, UON graduates are always given a competitive edge in their respective fields and are equipped with both theoretical and real-work experience. With our student-centered approach, we foster a culture of excellence in learning and focus on creating innovative entrepreneurs that can challenge convention and change the world. UON graduates have great reputation because we do not only bring academic qualifications, but also ambition, determination, hard work, and the burning desire to exceed expectations. UON graduates have a reputation for having good work ethic, trustworthiness, and being prepared for the work environment. Our programs are balanced between theory and practical lessons. We also have great facilities, laboratories, and state-of-the-art equipment, so we are well prepared to start working immediately we graduate. Our campus life is fun and exciting. It feels like home away from home. We have students from different backgrounds and countries, therefore we have a cosmopolitan environment where we're able to meet new people, make new friends, and learn different cultures. We welcome you to interact further with our faculty and staff members in various departments. At the University of Nairobi, we make your dreams come true. Our students are practically equipped for the job market by prioritizing cutting-edge technology, training, and applied research. With 8 campuses located in Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa, and over 6 specialized faculties, the University of Nairobi is the best university to consider for your future. We have over 500 courses to offer you endless opportunities to explore your passion. With internationally recognized undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications on offer, you will be able to establish a successful career path at the University of Nairobi. Managed by a team of experienced academic staff and alumni, UON graduates are always given a competitive edge in their respective fields and are equipped with both theoretical and real-work experience. With our student-centered approach, we foster a culture of excellence in learning and focus on creating innovative entrepreneurs that can challenge convention and change the world. UON graduates have great reputation because we do not only bring academic qualifications, but also ambition, determination, hard work, and the burning desire to exceed expectations. UON graduates have a reputation for having good work ethic, trustworthiness, and being prepared for the work environment. Our programs are balanced between theory and practical lessons. We also have great facilities, laboratories, and state-of-the-art equipment, so we are well prepared to start working immediately we graduate.
Yeah, hapo kwa edit, is somewhere in edit. Hebu ni call kidogo, naona napigiwa simu nianze meeting nyingine kidogo tu. Yes. No, they were not there. They were not there. Okay, naona sasa ameingia 11 hivi. Oh, sorry. Hello? Yeah, I was talking to Abby here. Credit PowerPoint, credit the speed. Naona nitakusumbua, naona Urindi pia ananipigia saa hii juu ya hii meeting. Okay. Hello. Yeah? No, they are in. It was created, but let me check the settings. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, Edith. Yeah, karibu sana University of Nairobi.
How are you?
I'm well.
You're fine?
Good to see you. You are very tech savvy.
Okay.
We're just waiting for our moderator. He's in. He's already in.
Okay.
Karibu sana,
Moderator is in.
welcome. Yes.
Thank you, John. John, can I welcome Edith and John?
Go ahead. The program is now yours. Yeah.
Thank you, John Orindi. Welcome, Dr. Edith, the Acting Director, National Employment Authority, and Mr. John Matogo from the IBM Kenya. So welcome to our afternoon sessions on skills for the future, which we will request each one of you to make a presentation, and then we'll ask our audience to make some to ask some questions, and then to introduce herself, and then John next. Edith, go ahead.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes.
Edis, I wanted you to introduce you further, although I've introduced, but when it's self-introduction, it comes out very clearly. Edith Okok.
Yes, you want me to show my video also?
Yes, to show your video and make a small introduction before we start the presentation.
Okay.
Yes, like that.
All right.
Well, that is Edith Okoki, the Director General of National Employment Authority that is charged by the government of Kenya to solve the employment challenge of our youth in the current. So she will be making a presentations on the employment challenge, and thereafter we will ask Edith to answer a few questions on how our youth and graduates can be able to cope and make a way forward out of the government intervention on the done by the National Employment Authority. Thank you, Edith. Next is John Matogo from IBM. Please show yourself, your video.
Greetings, John. Greetings, Madam Edith.
Thank you, John. This is John Matogo. He's the university leader interacting with the universities on skilling our graduates on the current and relevant skills that can make them employable. And John will also be making a presentation. And thereafter, we can ask him the question on how we can gain those skills. Thank you very much. My name is Johnson Ireri Kinywa. I'm Dean of Students, University of Nairobi, and also in charge of career services. And I will be moderating these sessions going forward. So with the permission from our host, Mr. John Oridi, I will now ask Madam Edith Okok to make her presentation to the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I have a short presentation on skills and competencies for emerging trends. I have sent my presentation earlier. I don't know if it will be able to show it on the screen, but nevertheless, I've started my presentation by giving under the skills and competencies for emerging trends. I've started by giving what we have, what I would call the
Hello, we can't hear you.
maybe I may need to, can you now hear me?
Yes, we can,
Yeah. What I'm saying is that I've started by talking about employment challenge, and I'm saying that we have what we may call, according to the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, quarterly labor force reports, the total labor force is 18.7 million. Those are total labor force, with the informal sector accounting for 83%.
Johnson, we have lost her. We can't hear her.
We can't hear, me too, I can't hear her. And I wish somebody could air this. You had made a PowerPoint presentation. I wish you could, someone can project for Edith to take us through the PowerPoint presentation she had sent.
What I'll do, let me try and also join with my phone. So I'll move out and join you using my phone. It may be better.
But I'm also asking our team if they can project your presentation, if that is okay with you.
It's fine with me.
Okay, Nekesa, maybe you can project the presentation, the PowerPoint Edith had sent. Already Nekesa is saying she has not received the presentation. Can you forward to her from your
Yes,
email?
it is. There's a challenge with that email that's used. Let me get Edith to send to my email, then we can use it here. We can.
Alternatively, you can also
Johnson,
send to
start with
Nekesa.
John.
Yeah.
Start with John as we sort out
Yes.
Edith there.
Okay, John, John Matogo,
Yes,
you are from a
Johnson.
digital company. We should not have the similar challenge. So please
No.
go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay, thank you. And apologies, sorry to Madam Edith. Allow me to just proceed. I can make my presentation. So I assume I have got the rights to share my screen.
Yes, you do.
I would ask the co-host. Okay, thank you. So let me just load up my screen, and maybe you can just alert me if you can see my screen on your side.
Yes, we can do that. We can see very well.
All right, excellent. So first of all, let me begin by saying thank you to Johnson for having me here, and also with John and University of Nairobi fraternity for having me. It's always a pleasure to present at University of Nairobi. I miss the face-to-face session that we had. So I'm really hoping that when this situation is over, we can return back to, being at the campus and interacting with all the various colleagues at the university. So it's my pleasure to be here today, and also thank you for all those who have joined me. My name is John Matogo. I lead university collaboration for IBM for the Africa region. And what I want to do today is just spend a few minutes. I have about 10 slides just to set the context on this topic that I was asked to speak on regarding skills for the future world of work. And then this is just to sort of provoke thinking, and then I will share with you some of the initiatives, some of the programs that we run together with various partners like University of Nairobi to equip people with these skills for the emerging world of work that we see. In the interest of just conserving the bandwidth and to make sure that we have a good experience, at this point I will just turn off the video so that we don't have challenges with the bandwidth. So allow me just to keep the video off, and then we can turn it on again when we do the Q&A. So just to set the stage for the conversation that we will be having, let us look at how the workplace is changing, and also what are the skills that one would require to become productive in this, let's say, new work environment. And actually for us, because we are living in this period of this pandemic, a lot of the things that we see here, people had forecasted them 4 or 5 years ahead, but now with the pandemic happening, we see that this is happening actually even much faster than people had initially foreseen. So we are living this, and we're actually seeing now more than ever, we really need to upskill ourselves with this skill that are relevant for this changing workplace. So in the past, what we saw was a workplace where staff or people working there would arrive in the morning, typically 9 to 5, and then you leave and go home after the work period. But now what do we see? We are seeing people are working anytime, okay? And now with the pandemic, people are all over people are working from home, so you're at work almost all the time. What are the skills that this would require? So there's the agility, being able for one to be flexible with their work environment. There's a lot of collaboration that is required, because now to get things done, you need to collaborate with a lot of different people. Self-management, like I said, you're working anytime. There's a danger of someone working all the time, and that could lead to other challenges like burnout or also very low productivity. The past, there was working in the office, and now, as I said, with the pandemic, a lot of people are working from home or working anywhere. So as long as you have connectivity, we are seeing that someone is able to become productive. And what are the skills that this requires? So working on the cloud. So using technologies or using tools or platforms that are residing in the cloud environment. So when I say cloud computing, I'm basically referring to using computing resources that are not on your local machine or on your device. You're connecting to remote resources, which we loosely refer to as being on the cloud. Again, agility, being this flexibility to be able to work from anywhere. Because people are working from different types of environments, there's been a discussion about cybersecurity. So being able to protect your computing environment, your computing resources, because as many people may have had, even at the beginning when we had a lot of this online working, platforms like the one that we are on right now were very vulnerable or susceptible to Zoom bombings, or you have people who are not expected to be in the meetings coming in and disrupting the meeting. But now, over time, people have become more aware and have put in place security measures. Like you saw before I could load this presentation, I was not able to do that, and the administrator had to actually give me the capability to do so. And from your end, if you're not given those rights, you're not able to do that. So there's this element of security awareness that more and more we have to be very much aware of, because we're not in a controlled environment like an office where there would be set up in place to protect the environment from this kind of situation. In the past, people use a lot of company equipment. So in the organization that you're employed in, or where you're in the university where you are working or you're a student at, you'd get equipment from the university. But more and more, there is this aspect of bring your own device. So everybody is using their own laptop, their own mobile phone or tablet to actually be productive, to access those cloud resources that we mentioned earlier to complete the work. So what skills does this require? Agility, being able to quickly become productive using tools that are in front of you. If I don't have my computer, if I'm moving around and I have my phone and I need to join a meeting like this one, and I can see some of the audience actually are using their devices because I can see they are outside, that's that level of agility, being able to on the go become productive and start engaging with the work that you're doing. Again, because people are bringing all different types of devices, we need to have enhanced security to make sure that we don't have breaches of people who are not meant to be there. Internet of Things, this is a term referring to the proliferation of different types of devices, and these devices are becoming more intelligent. So like I said, some people are using mobile phones, some people are using their computers, tablets, and so on to access this kind of meeting that we are in. So we have got this increasingly varied types of tools or devices that we are accessing and doing work with. The other thing is social media tools also becoming more and more prevalent. So a lot of us are using platforms just like the one that we are on. This is Zoom, and we are having, we're able to collaborate, to have meetings and so on. We are more and more looking at platforms like Facebook or Twitter and so on to get our news, to exchange information. And we can see this is increasingly becoming the trend when we are working. And platforms like Mural or Slack, in this era where we have been running classes online, we're using all these tools to be able to engage and to become productive. In the past, we had this, let's say, bad behavior where people would hoard information. I'm sure all of us being Kenyans, you've heard of this famous saying of someone sitting on the file, or this file is missing. So that was the past. In this new era, we are seeing sharing of information. So a lot of information is coming out. People are using social media tools to get information out there. If you wanted to make people aware of something, you just put something on WhatsApp or any other social media platform, and within minutes, it's all out there. When you get a certificate or you complete a course, what do people do now? Very quickly, they put that up on their social media saying that they have completed this training or this learning or they've graduated from this course and so on, so that people can know about that. So there is this trend increasingly where people are sharing information. Whereas that is a good thing, there's also, people need to know how to manage that information and also how to protect or to manage their social footprint. And this is another skill that we need to also learn. Otherwise, remember, when you put something out there, it's very difficult. Let's say a term that people use a lot, the internet doesn't forget. So you might find that a certain mistake you may have done or put out there follows you for a long time and could also impact your opportunities in future. So these social media skills are extremely important. Managing your social media footprint is something that is critically important, especially for young people. We are very eager and very quick to share some things, but remember, think before you act sharing that information because it will be out there and it will be out there for a very long time and could spoil your image if you do not think about it very carefully. Also, because of this large information that is being put out there, we need to have skills on how to sift through this information, analyze trends and so on. So this is this skill of data science and analytics that increasingly is becoming extremely important because of the need to know how to manage this information. There was a huge reliance on emails and memos as traditional ways of communication. Now we are seeing there's a lot of collaboration technologies. I talked about platforms like the one that we are on now. We are having this meeting, or some students have been having classes online for a long time. So these are more and more the tools that we are going to use. There are now technologies like Slack, where people are able to exchange, or similar to WhatsApp, maybe a bit more powerful. People can do group work, for example, using platforms like Mural. So this element of collaboration, this idea of collaboration is becoming more and more important. And then what are the skills that one needs to know to become proficient in this environment? Use of these social tools, communication is key, and also collaboration, an increasingly important skill, how to work with other people. In as much as it may sound like something simple, when you realize that you have to work with others and you get actually on a project, it becomes clear that working with people and collaborating is not an easy task at all. Previously, there was this focus on the knowledge one has. So in the past, when someone graduated from university with, let's say you had a certificate in engineering, for example, you know, someone would think that they have reached the end of the height of their learning, and that is it. They can now get the job and they are at their best. Not the case anymore. There is this a continuous improvement, continuous learning. So there is this adaptive learning skill that we have to foster now because the world is changing very fast. 1 year ago, if you told some people you need to know how to use Zoom, they would not believe you. Now it is the standard. Everybody is using this kind of platforms. So this adaptive learning, this idea of adaptive learning is something that is critically important, and we need to embrace it. Long gone are the days where the certificate you had was all that you needed. In fact, nowadays, you'll realize some people are even saying that certificate, yes, while it's good to have it, is not so much what they're focusing on. What is your attitude towards learning? And I would say, for example, I am working in an international organization, and one of the things that is very clear for us is that there is one of our performance metrics is the number of hours that you keep on learning every year, and it is measured, and I can tell you it is looked at as something very important. So being having this attitude of continuously learning and learning quickly at that is something that is critically important going forward. Before, the focus was on inputs. What do you bring in? Which certificates do you have? And so on, how much experience? Nowadays, the focus is on outputs. I'm sure several, even maybe now you might be seeing some jobs are asking you to have 10 years of experience. You have so many certificates. The focus now is what can you actually do? And we see more and more jobs are changing where the focus is in what can you do and not so much what do you have? And again, based on this need of continuous learning. The more you learn, the better you can do, the more skills that you have. So this was just to set the stage. We are seeing that there is an evolution of the workplace that is happening. And because of that, there's a need for new skills that are actually coming up. Something else, again, just to bring to your mind, we are actually living this fourth, they call it fourth industrial revolution, which is the cyber-physical systems. What does this mean? We're increasingly seeing technology playing a bigger role in the activities that we are involved in. So before we used to talk about robots and we used to see them in the movies as things that were, far there, removed from us. But more and more we're seeing some of these things actually happening right in front of our faces. People were talking about the self-drive cars or something that will be happening 100 years from now. But actually we've seen tests of this self-drive vehicles happening. We've seen the drones, which are unmanned aircraft that are moving around. So these are things that we're actually seeing. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to interact with a robot. And this robot, actually, I had the opportunity to have a conversation in natural language, just the same way I would have a conversation with anybody. So we are living it in our times now. And the only thing I can tell you, we are going to see more and more of it. So with that in mind, how do we then prepare ourselves? So I hope this sets the stage in terms of thinking about what I'm going to be sort of proposing during this talk, and also just to provoke discussion as we move forward in today's presentation. So let me share a little bit about IBM. So I mentioned before I work for IBM. So for your information, IBM stands for International Business Machines. So as a company, this is 110 years of the company's existence. So this year in June, we will be celebrating 110 years of existence of the company. And one thing that I will tell you a little bit about IBM is that over this 100 plus years, IBM has been at the forefront of technology innovation. So from the time when we had the first computer system, IBM was there, and many advances in technology, IBM has played a great part in terms of all those milestones of technology. The picture I show you here, let me just mention a few things. We can see that there is a picture of a rocket, an aeroplane wing there. You can see some roads, you can see some chocolate, you can see part of a credit card there. So this just gives you a sense of different industries. And the reason why I show this is just to give you an idea of the breadth of, in terms of industry that IBM has technology. So we, as a company, we provide services and technologies to players in all those industries. So we've got customers on the commercial side who are in aviation, in oil and gas, in healthcare, in manufacturing, in financial services. All these different industries, in one way or another, IBM technologies are playing a huge part in making those industries work. I talked about this 100 years plus of technology innovation and technology leadership. So these are some of the things just to give you a sense of who IBM as a company is. So that's 110 years of existence. We are present in 170 countries all over the world. Right now, the focus of the company is on what we call hybrid cloud and artificial intelligence. Remember, I talked about cloud being an important technology and also artificial intelligence. Down here, you can see a picture of two individuals, and in the middle, there is this sort of icon of a computer or a system. So this was back in, I believe it was in 2012. This was a competition where Watson, which is the IBM artificial intelligence engine, was playing a game, like a quiz game against the two global champions. So in this game, you'd be asked a question, random question on general knowledge, and the fastest person who responds and the correct answer, you can see they get prize money here. And as you can see here, at the end of it, Watson was leading in that particular show, and this was back in 2012. So over the years, we have been improving the technology, and actually now is being utilized in a lot of different sectors. So just to give you a little bit about IBM as a company, and just to tell you what the company is involved in. So, what makes us unique? So this long history of innovation, industry expertise, like I mentioned, we work in a lot of different sectors, and all this underpinned with this very strong belief on trust and security for our clients' information. So a little bit aside from that, I mentioned that I work for the Global University Programs Department in IBM. And what do? We partner with universities, and University of Nairobi is one of our partners here in Kenya. And why do we do this? Because we've seen earlier on the presentation I talked about that the workplace is changing. We as a company commercially sell these technologies to our clients. So what we want to do is to bring this same technology that we sell to the customers right into the university so that our students are learning, going through the academic classes and learning different topics. They can also use and experience those same technologies so that when they graduate, they are ready and have relevant skills for the workplace. So we've got a lot of different programs, from internships, from programs that we give faculty and students access to IBM technologies, free of charge, by the way. We've got training programs where we train them on the new and emerging technologies, where we have programs where we invite, where we have IBM staff who are leading experts on different technologies to come and talk to students, and also support university staff as they do their research. So very quickly, let me just show you some of the programs. So we have one called Academic Initiative. This is a free platform we give to the university students where they can go in and download IBM software at no charge and use it for their learning. So if they have a project, if they have an assignment, if they're doing a research, they can go in there and use some of these technologies to do their work. And remember, this is the same technology that we sell as a company to the top banks, the top airlines that you can think of. So we're using the exact same thing that we give access to you as a student at the university. It's very simple. You go to this website, ibm.com/academic. But for you to access, when you go to the registration process here, you need to use your university email ID. So as a student at the University of Nairobi, you log on with your student email ID, and then you can get access to that. And we can talk more about this at a future date. We have another program for skills and certification. We call it Skills Academy, and you get trained on all these technologies, so artificial intelligence that we talked about, blockchain, cloud computing, and so on and so forth. And the idea is to give you these skills to become productive, because these are the skills, what we call new and emerging technologies, that are increasingly becoming more and more important in the workplace. So when you, at the university, you can get opportunities to attend some of this training, get certified. So when you graduate from your university program, in addition to having your bachelor's or your master's or your PhD degree, you also have an industry certification. I talked about the guest lectures. So we have a lot of IBM experts who are available to come in as guest lecturers and speak to students. Now we also have other programs where we support research by university faculty members and students that they can apply to. So Johnson, let me stop here. Let me also allow others to present. And
thank you.
I'm available for the Q&A session.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John, for opening our eyes on the skills we need for our graduates to succeed in the fourth industrial revolutions and the skills for the future. We'll come to you. I now welcome Edith if her presentation can be shared either by herself or my team, and then we can proceed, and then we can ask the questions after the two presentations. Edith, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, and I would request your team to project my presentation.
Yes.
And
Neke-
thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Nekesa, are you able to project for Edith? Nekesa has projected your screen. Make it full screen, Nekesa. Yes, like that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm looking at skills and competencies from the National Employment Authority's view. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the unemployment rate. That is the total labor force at 18.7 million Kenyans. And maybe before I do that, just to introduce myself, though I know you've already introduced me. My name is Edith Okoki. I'm the acting GSG, National Employment Authority. And to go on, I would say that really employment is a big challenge in this country. And by the end of March 2020, if we could move into the second slide, the overall unemployment rate was at 13%, with youth between the age of 20 to 24. Those are the ones who are leaving our universities, accounting for 12.5%. And the youth between 25 to 29 accounting for 7.5%. And the youth, the age between 30 to 34 accounting for 4.8%. So this clearly reinforces the fact that unemployment is still a youth challenge in our country. And the youth the youth is still facing challenges in assessing job opportunities. And more so, this problem has been accelerated by COVID-19. So the world of work is, however, fast changing, as just has been presented by the previous presenter. And the jobs that we have today might not necessarily be there tomorrow. We've already seen this in 2020. And the World Economic Forum, that of 2016, reports that according to estimates, 65% of children entering primary school today will ultimately end up working in completely new job types that don't yet exist. So these are the challenges that we will have with the training that we're going to impact to our students at the university. It is also anticipated that in the next 5 years, 35% of the skills that are considered important in today's workforce will have changed. And according to the World Economic Forum of 2016, the global workforce is expected to experience significant mix between job families and functions. And it is also projected that the trend could lead to a total loss of 7.1 million jobs worldwide and a minimal gain of 2 million jobs, yielding a net employment loss of 5.1 million jobs between 2015 and 2020. New technologies, as has been mentioned, and globalization, demographic shifts, as well as the impact of the social media are rapidly changing the world of work. It is argued that these trends shaping the future of work will continue to offer new opportunities, as well as challenges for individuals and organizations to achieve success. Many of the major drivers of transformation affecting global industries are expected to have a considerable impact on jobs. This is emphasized to range from job creation to job displacement, and from heightened labor productivity to widening skill gaps. On the other hand, a new technology as manifested in digitalization and automation are increasingly penetrating the domain of tasks, which until recently used to be left for the human being, the human. Now, these include reasoning, sensing, and deciding through use of robots and machines. Digitalization and automation raises questions on technology's potential to substitute work. It is reducing demand for routine and manual tasks while increasing demand for low and high skill tasks and for problem solving and interpersonal skills. Digitalization, therefore, and automation have opened the ground for new forms of work organization. Some of the challenges that we are likely to face are availability for skills that will be relevant to the future of work. And we will see that the future of work will bring more challenges and will require for us to rethink in our skills development. The way technology has changed in the workplace cannot be overemphasized. The concern is not only in identifying the kind of skills that will be needed to drive work in the years ahead, but also to develop the kind of skills that will remain relevant to the needs of industry. So the other challenge is that the issue of industry culture is important, since culture combined with technology will enable a future of work that shapes employee experience and customer experience to yield great value. Organizations need to cultivate a culture of transparency, trust, teamwork, and focus on workers' growth and shared values. There is need, therefore, to provide the necessary infrastructure and framework to support skills development. Key among it is a framework that enables the education and training institutions to work in collaboration with employers. Employers will need to support skills development by opening up their premises for attachments, apprenticeships to the learners and tutors, feeding data into the recently launched Kenya Labor Market Information System that will help in focusing the skills that are on demand, providing employment opportunities for the learners, mentoring young entrepreneurs, established employers, integrating the small businesses into their supply chains. The other opportunity will be, since agriculture is the main economic activity in Kenya, we need to consider how employers can support value addition in this sector to create employment opportunities for our people as we move in the future. Employee skills should be continuously developed to navigate the changes in the world of work and to take advantage of the emerging opportunities, especially in the fast-growing sectors. Employers, therefore, can also take responsibility for promoting acquisition of relevant skills by workers. Employers can apply the principles of collaboration to strengthen knowledge of and appreciation for the customer value chain, nurture employee relationships that align with needs of every organization strategy, provide forum or an engaging work environment. This could be virtually or physical, encourage use of social media, tools, techniques that allow employees to enable workplace performance and build a positive company culture. Provision and acquisition of appropriate skills is important in enhancing readiness to face the changes in the workplace. In this respect, education and training institutions are required to put in place mechanisms for provisions of appropriate skills. This would be through design and implementation of demand-oriented and responsive training curricula, developing and implementing a structured internship and industrial attachment system, and ensuring effective and institutionalized linkage and exchange program with industry. For successful skills development in the view of future of work, partnerships between education and training institutions, industry and development partners need to be strengthened. This is important in encouraging investment in shared infrastructure, provision of equipment, enhancing research and its relevance, and promoting retraining of lecturers, tutors, and instructors. Thank you. I hope that what I've presented, if going by the questions that I will get, will be able to enhance more my presentation. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Edith, for that enlightening presentations. And I think you have really shed more light on what is going to happen now and in the future, and the skills needed and how it needs to. But now I will open the questions to the individuals, but I can start with those on the chat. Maybe you can be able to respond. Let me get to the chat box and read some of them. Sorry, my Nini is misbehaving. I've touched somewhere. Mr. John Matogo one of the audience is asking, will the fourth industrial revolution disrupt and create more jobs, or will it cause mass and the newly launched Kenya Labor Information Management System, how it is working and how it's able to track whether the graduates are getting more jobs or there is a mass unemployment. Please, if you can answer with those two as I look for the more questions, it will be great.
Okay, so in terms of the fourth industrial revolution, I mean, one thing that is clear is that it's going to greatly disrupt the jobs. Let's say the traditional jobs. As even my colleague, Madam Edith mentioned, with digitalization and automation, the jobs which are routine, the ones which the system or the computer technology can do, those for sure will be taken up by the computer systems. However, one thing that is coming out is that we're also seeing a lot of other new, let me say, opportunities that are being presented that then open up other jobs. And instead of talking about jobs as such, let's talk about opportunities for work, because the idea of being employed is changing. We're also seeing, for example, I mean, let me just speak generally. We're seeing some industries are getting heavily disrupted. A few years ago, if you look at the media industry, you know, people would be going straight to the TV to watch the news, right? But now we see people are going to social media to look at the information. What is happening? That is disrupting let's say the media industry. The job that were there previously, if now you're not social media savvy, for example, and you're in the media industry, then you're really going to be left behind. We are seeing a lot of opportunities for call them citizen journalists, where people are beginning to create their own podcasts. People are beginning to create their own channels on YouTube, on different social media platforms, and a number of them are actually are becoming very are able to run their lives by becoming let's say these influencers on media, on these channels. So I mean, there's this disruption that is happening. Yes, the traditional idea of job is going to change, but there are going to be opportunities for work. And I think this is what we need to build up more on, how to prepare people for to be able to acquire opportunities for gainful employment, let's say. Johnson?
And John, part B of that question, part B of that question is, how can our graduates be insulated from being rendered irrelevant during that shedding off the old traditional jobs and creating the new? How can you advise our graduates on the same?
So one of the things that I would say is that there is this idea that I touched on briefly, where you are continuously learning. So as a student, as a graduate, the learning does not end with you graduating, for example, from the academic course that you took. Learning will continue. So the academic course that you took is very good, very important. It gives you a strong basis in whatever discipline you're taking. However, it does not end there. What it should just open your eyes to is the vast amount of learning that you still need to undertake to continue, mastering whatever skill and whichever discipline that you are pursuing. So you continue. I mean, things that you did 2 years ago, you continue improving on that because new things are coming up. If you rest, and then you end up becoming irrelevant, as you say.
So thank you, John. The answer is continuous learning and keep skilling and reskilling and retooling. Now I go to Edith. You can shed more light on Kenya Labor Information Management Systems, and there is a question that Is there a need for all the graduates to be registered with the National Employment Authority for them to be able to get job? Is this true? Maybe you can answer that.
Yeah, thank you. I'll talk about, these are two systems. The KLMIS is a system that enables the Ministry of Labor to get labor market information. This is where we will be able to advise training institutions and the industry on the jobs that are now required at any given time. And that's why we encourage that we will be able to post the relevant requirements that are needed at that particular time in terms of skills and also the demands. However, we have another system which we call NEA IMIS. This is the National Employment Authority Information Management System, where we encourage all graduates to register here and also employer register in this system. And then the matching is done online. The reason why we do this is because employers, even as they do their annual returns, they've been able to post a lot of jobs on our website. And so if job seekers can register there, then they will be able to get, they'll be able to be matched to a job that is relevant to them. And we encourage them, yes, it's not the only avenue for employment, but we encourage them. And we know that with information, government will be able to give the training institutions and also employers of the skills that are available. And so the only way we are able to get this information is when we get graduates registering with us. We've also started partnering with various universities to have graduates to be able to make our information system popular so that they can be able to register on that system. And we've been able to place, it's an active system. If you visit it, it's NEA IMS, that is NEA IMS. If you're able to visit it, then you'll be able to register yourself as a job seeker. And then once you register as a job seeker, you'll be able to see the jobs that are already in the website. If you're an employer, you can still register as an employer and you'll be able to see all the job seekers that are registered in that information system. And there's also internship, for internship. All students who would like to be taken in as interns can also register in the system, and employers will be able to see their particulars. Yes, the other question is on foreign employment and what we are doing. Yes, what government has done is that we have signed bilateral labor agreements with countries, especially the ones where Kenyans have been most vulnerable, that is in the Middle East. We've been able to sign bilateral labor agreements so that we can enhance the protection of Kenyans who are going to work there. And once government has signed that bilateral labor agreement, then it is easy for us to get in as a country and be able to sort out issues of distress of Kenyans who are in those countries. And to do this, apart from signing the bilateral labor agreements, we've been able to develop a skills and a pre-departure for all migrant workers who are leaving this country. And so before you leave, you'll be able to go through a pre-departure course of at least 5 days if you are traveling as a professional. If you are going as an unskilled worker, then there's training which we call home care, that the curriculum is already ready. And the trainings started in 2019, where we train the people who want to go and work in the domestic setup. And this has also enhanced their stay in those countries, and they've been able to fetch a favorable income compared to other countries like the Philippines. At the moment, we stand at about 80,000 who have gone legally, yes, to those countries. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay. The other things that we've worked on foreign employment is that we have already developed legal and policy reforms in that area. And we are also developing a system. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, okay. And
yes.
the other thing is that for us to remain competitive as a region, we have championed regional collaborations where we have a regional meeting, and the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Labor is currently chairing for the East and Horn of Africa. And we also have in place a vetting committee that vets all agencies that take workers outside this country. And the reason why we vet them, it's because we will be able to hold them responsible for any worker that is in distress outside this country. And before a worker leaves, there's actually a security bond that is signed with the authority. I think I've exhaustively discussed that, but I'm still willing
yes,
to
yes. I wanted to add
make
that
any
on the foreign employment.
Yes.
I've seen the government is focusing more on the domestic workers, particularly in the Middle East. What about the skilled workforce? I know Canada is in dire need of skilled workforce, Japan, Australia. What is the government doing to take our skilled workforce to those countries which are in critical needs of workforce, but in a formal way?
Yeah, thank you. The reason why we started with the with the domestic and low skilled was because this was an area that was greatly abused. And whether we wanted it or not, these people were still going to leave the country. And so we thought that it was important to quickly put in place mechanisms in which their rights would be protected. However, we've also have draft bilateral labor agreements with the UK, Poland, and there's also a draft for Canada. And we are already working with the Saudi for skilled, and we are exporting, I think in the next 1 month or two, about in the healthcare sector, especially the nurses, to the UK and to Saudi. So we've not only concentrated in domestic work. The reason why there's a lot of focus on domestic work and also in the social media, it's because this was one area that was abused. But if you look at the workers that are being sent across this country, we have reached over 200,000 that are registered with us during the period from 2019 when we started putting the regulations in place. We've also signed with countries like Bahrain, Oman, Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait, and these are areas where especially the unskilled are running to. So we just needed to make sure that their rights were taken care of. However, there's a lot of concentration this year on skilled workers, and I think we already have a skilled, what we call it, a BLA with countries that I've mentioned earlier. And I think before the end of this this year, you'll already seen a lot of influx towards those areas that are now going through a coordinated manner by government. There's much more that we are doing that I may not be able to really express here, but we can, if you visit our website, you'll realize that we've really tried to educate people on their rights and how they can get their passage outside this country.
I think now I'll open up the question to the real audience to open their mic and ask a question to a particular of the two presenters. Any participant?
Sorry, I've seen a question also asking of how we can share these opportunities with the university.
Yes.
The way we can share these opportunities is that we have all the recruitment agencies that have registered with us. They are encouraged to post the vacancies in our website. And that's why we're saying that it is important for job seekers to register in our website, and they'll be able to see all the opportunities that are available.
Thank you very much. Anyone with a question, you can unmute yourself and ask either John or Edith to respond. Anyone? Anyone who has a question? Peter Oroch,
Yes,
I know.
yes, I have a question.
Yes,
my question
John.
goes to John Matogo.
Yes.
As one of the leading companies in technology in this in the world, I wanted to get his assessment on the level of uptake of artificial intelligence and blockchain technology in this region, especially in this part of Kenya. And the gap, how much do you think, how the gap that between us and the other developed worlds, and what companies like IBM, what are they doing to help universities or institutions, learning institutions to bridge that gap between, or the gap or the technological divide between the third world and the developed world?
Okay, so I mean, this technology like artificial intelligence, this technology, like I was mentioning before, they are with us already. We are just maybe not aware that we are using them. I'll give you maybe some examples for you to realize that you use them. Sometimes you might be using your phone and you're calling. Nowadays we've got a lot of these taxi hailing apps, right? And a lot of those platforms use artificial intelligence in some of the functions that they use to give you information of how far your taxi is, to find out where you're located, to give you and the driver indication of the best route you're getting to your destination. I mean, those are applications of this artificial intelligence. In a lot of, I'm also trying to give examples. I'm not going to be mentioning any names of any companies. In some of the mobile money, some of the services provided by some of the telecommunication companies, some people are able to get loans from some of these mobile money providers, or some companies that provide financial services via phone. If you think about it, let's say 10 years ago, if you were applying for a loan and you are trying to, you go to the bank, you fill out the forms about the loan that you want to get, it was a lengthy process, right? They would ask you to complete the forms, then they do background checks, etc. Nowadays, how fast can you apply for the same loan? Almost in an instant, because as soon as you enter that information into your phone that you're applying for that loan, the system is able to run some model that would assess that would give you scoring on your credibility for that loan, etc. And you get back a response on whether you can get your loan product and how much you qualify for, etc., etc. So I'm just giving you, let's say, examples of things that we are now almost using on a daily basis without even knowing that at the back of that, what made it possible is some of this technology that we are discussing. So you've got a combination of things like analytics, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence that are going on in the background that the systems are using to actually give us this kind of services. That's one. You talked about technology like blockchain. So blockchain is a technology that is being used, and here, people talk about, when you talk about blockchain, some people would automatically talk about things like cryptocurrency and so on and so forth. So yes, cryptocurrency is one of the applications of blockchain, and there are some people who are into that cryptocurrency. But more than that, blockchain is also being used in business, in some organizations, to create single sources of truth. And even here in Kenya, there's been some discussions of making use of blockchain technology to automate some government registries, right? So to ensure that you have transparency in transactions, you have single sources of truth for some records, and so on and so forth. So we are on the path. Some of them are being implemented. Some of them we're already using them. It's just that we're not. This technology is transparent to us, but it's actually there.
Thank you very much. Can I ask our chairman, Dr. Fred Otieno, to say something or to ask a question whether we are in line with the mega trends that are disrupting the 21st century? Dr. Fred. Fred is not there. Peter Uruoch. Peter,
Yes, Kinyo, I'm hearing you. What is the question, Sam?
you are our technical advisor. What question do we need for our students to align ourselves with the 21st century mega trade skills? What do our partner needs to help us in university for us to be able to realign our students on the issues of skills and yeah.
What our partners can do for us? That is the question.
Yes. As a university.
Okay, to our partners, thank you very much for coming for the open day. I only have one request. If we can increase more of these interactions, whether online or physical, but most of physical, if we can, because there's a lot happening in technology, more so in the fourth industrial revolution. As John Matogo has talked about cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. Currently, what is happening is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is rallying seriously. And most people are ignorant about some of these opportunities that are happening. So if we can increase intensity of our interactions and educate our people and most of our students on the opportunities, for me, I would be very grateful, because I know technology has millions and millions of opportunities for us. And those graduating, you may not even go look for a job. With the technologies, you can employ yourself and be very comfortable doing some of these things from the comfort of your mobile phone or home. So I would encourage more of such training and more so practical training of how to make money out of all these in the fourth industrial revolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anything from Salvador Gasho? Salvador? Well, if I can't get Fred and Salvador, Edith Okokie, I would like, as Peter Oruoch, who is our ICT officer, has said that if we can increase our interaction more, particularly with the NEA on this Kenya Labor Information Management System, the NEA MIS, whereby I can invite you, Edith, to come and make a presentation to our students on how they can maximize opportunities with the NEA MIS, and also how the University of Nairobi can contribute to the Kenya Labor Management Information System. We'll be very glad on those two items, and I can give you a platform, physical platform, where we organize the students and you give career talk on that, and we exhaust all the questions that we may need to answer our government platform for helping us to cope with our employment challenge. So, Bwana John Oridi, it looks like my participants have exhausted. Yeah?
May I ask one more question on behalf
Yes, John
of...
Oridi, then Fred. John Oridi, then Fred Otieno.
Okay, I just wanted to ask a question, just to that would be relevant to our prospective students. If they want to pursue career in artificial intelligence, blockchain, and these other things, which degrees do companies like IBM focus on when they are recruiting students? So that's the thing would guide students on if they are interested in those areas. John, maybe you can tell us which degrees or which type of training you will focus more when you are recruiting this.
So thanks, John. So a lot of these technologies, and also I think I'll use the opportunity to answer another question that someone had asked in the chat. So a lot of these technologies, you can use them, you can look at it in terms of spectrum, a continuum. You can be a user of the technology, or you can also be the person who develops the solution that runs in the technology, right? So for example, when I work with students, and I showed you before, you've got different technology. Artificial intelligence is one, like you mentioned. You've got data science and analytics. You've got blockchain. You have Internet of Things, and so on and so forth. If I want to use that technology, I can become a programmer that would be the one to develop the solution that would provide services to someone who wants to use it. So in that case there, I would need to be, for example, that means I'm going to go to IT courses. So like at University of Nairobi, I know you have a very good computer science program. There are also those who are taking courses like engineering and so on. So there's some of those, let's say, career paths that would require you to also have a lot of technical knowledge, because there is some foundational skills that you need to have for you to go that path where you want to develop the solutions. So if you're going to be a programmer that's going to develop solutions that are using artificial intelligence, then yes, you need to, a good background in computer science would be good. But having said that, there are some people who are not going to, who can also self-learn some of these things, right? And I also have very interesting examples of students who have taken other courses. I know even straight from Nairobi University, I know some students who took a course in actuarial science. And in the process, they've learned very well about the financial services sector. So they know how, for example, the insurance industry works and so on and so forth. So that they have a very strong foundation in terms of financial services and how that system works. Now, because of that knowledge about how that environment works, they went ahead, they learned some programming through platforms like the ones I've shared on the screen from IBM and others. They did that by self-learning, and then they went ahead and developed solutions that are now in use in financial services sector. So they developed solutions that are used by banks, by insurance companies, and so on and so forth. I give another example. There are some people who are taking courses even in the space of biology or humanities, social sciences, and so on. And they have understood a lot of about, a course like psychology and so on. And they have understood, how to work with people and so on. And then they use the technology to help them in the work that they are doing. Something that some research came out recently and shows that sometimes people are more responsive or find it more comfortable to speak to a computer system more than they would to respond to a human. So imagine a patient who is seeking the services of a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and then they're able to voice out whatever they're going through. So some research showed that people are actually more comfortable voicing some of these things to a system more than to an individual. Now, because of the knowledge, obviously these systems are supporting humans. So someone who has got training in that particular field is then able to build this into a system that would then interact with that individual to get that information and then pass it back to, let's say, this expert, and then who can take it forward with a diagnosis, etc., etc. So I'm just trying to give different areas in which these technologies are supported, are complementing different fields of study. So you can be a computer scientist, you can be an engineer, you can be a biologist, you can be a medical doctor, all using those technologies in one way or another. It just depends on which career path you're looking to use. Or to take, rather.
Thank you very much. I think, John, you have exhaustively answered that question. Dr. Friend Otieno wanted to say something.
I think, John, mine is just to thank all the panelists who we have this afternoon. And just to add on to what John has just said, is that the world we are in, the skills that everyone needs in their profession, is what John has just told us. You can be a dentist like myself, but you find that the world of dentistry is moving. The things we manage our patients, we need a lot of IT knowledge. We are using 3D to do for manufacturing some of the things that we give patients. When you go to medicine, you find that the diagnosis is depending so much on technology and getting consultation, working with your colleagues across the world is becoming a lot easier. and therefore patients are getting better treatment than before, whether it is surgery or whether things which are to be done. But all in all, what we can say is that the University of Nairobi, we're equipping our students, as John has said, with those skills. And this is a good example. Recently, remember, our students developed RADAR. And if you looked at this group of students who developed that application called RADAR, there were students from engineering, students from social sciences, students from College of Health Sciences, and you can actually see it was a whole set of the community coming together to answer to societal needs. And the societal need was that student who is at the university who needed help with some of the challenges that they were facing. And all of us at the university, we are familiar with what RADAR was providing to our students. Is it financial knowledge? Is it health issues? Is this social matters? And that's what our students developed. And we are equally very proud as a university that we're equipping our students with those skills that John has talked about, that will enable them to get jobs in the future. And mine is just to thank everyone for attending this webinar. I know I've not been asked to give a vote of thanks, but as a chairman of this exhibition committee, I'd just like to appreciate everyone who has attended and also the participants, and of course, Johnson for moderating this afternoon's session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now hand over to Mr. John Oridi. John?
And Johnson, thank you very much for the good work you've done this afternoon to moderate this session. Mine is just to thank the panelists for the rich information that they have shared with us. All of us, even as we are working, we have learned something. It's very important to have continuous learning. Actually, you've hit it, John. Thank you, Edith, for sharing with us information, government policy, and opportunities that we can have, and the intervention that the government is doing to help the youth with the challenge of unemployment. To our online audience, I want to thank you all for being patient and for being interactive. I want to appeal to the two panelists and other partners that will be coming back again to you so that we can tap into the knowledge that you have shared with us with the greater population of our students. It's very helpful so that when they learn, they are very focused on clear paths that they want to go to. We are here to assist them to achieve their dreams, and they can only do that if it is clear to them in their mind what they are supposed to take. And that's why we have organized this open day to facilitate them and to assist them, guide them on which career paths they are likely to land in. So I want to thank you all, those who have assisted in transmission of this, the technical team. I also want to appreciate you for everything, and thank you very much. May God bless you.
Asante sana. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. We can go.